it's not advisable to go to Ethiopia or South Africa or Egypt to get a visa. By here coming to Georgia, by Georgia I mean Georgia in Europe, not Georgia in the United States. I am trying to come to Georgia and I'm so confused on what to do. So the process has changed so much. Hello everybody, let's just act like I haven't posted a long form video in a hot minute. You guys are just going to have to understand at this point. I said, oh, I'm going to be back X, Y, and Z times. At this point, it's so embarrassing, but you know what? It is what it is. If you're seeing my face for the first time, hello, my name is Nancy K here on YouTube. Everybody calls me Nancy, so feel free to call me Nancy. And if you're not new and you're seeing my face again and you're subscribed, guys, shout out to you. I'm so sorry I abandoned this channel, but you know what, like I said, we moved. So thank you for still being here, and let's get into today's video. So this video is going to be short and sweet, and it's actually a video for school season, because by the time this goes up, it'll probably be the period for when students are also coming to school here, and it's just going to be a bunch of random questions as well. So it's just not limited to school. So please stay tuned. Like, maybe I don't say share enough, but it will mean a lot if you guys actually share my videos. It will help me to continue to come on here. And the first question I have here is honest advice for college newbies. Okay, so I think this is very serious. Depending on, if this is something you really want, people are going to school for different reasons, to fulfill obligations to their family, personal, or, people are just looking ahead and thinking, I want to get X, Y, and Z after a certain period of time. So whatever the reason is, I would say be true to yourself at the end of the day. If you're in college, I would also say mingle with people. It's better when you're new to establish relationships, especially with people in your set and your class. It's a lot easier in the beginning to get to know people. I mean, it's easy for people even later on, but ideally, get to mingle with people, find out what you like, and I just feel like it's a time to really explore. So I'm all for exploring. So figure out what you like, and obviously set boundaries. Don't do everything without setting boundaries, because then you most likely will get hurt in the process, or people will take advantage of you. So set your boundaries irrespective of exploring. So how much does eating out cost in Georgia? I'd say on average you can have fantastic meals by yourself for anywhere from, I'm not talking like fast food chains like Wendy's and all of that, I'm talking like a decent restaurant. You can eat out for as low as 30 or even 25 to 50 by yourself. So I'd say it's not so expensive. If I'm being honest, it's not so expensive. So anywhere from like 30 to 50 for one person it's fine. Ideally, it's fine. It can go as, obviously, minimum 30, it can go as high as 100 depending on where you go. So eating out is not too expensive, in my opinion. It's not too expensive. It's only expensive if you do it too often. What was my first day of school like in Georgia? I didn't even think of this one. What was my first day of school like? Honestly, can I even remember? Oh, I wish I documented that. I can't. In Georgia, my first day of school was online. That's why it didn't come to me quickly. It was actually online. There's just a bunch of names, and I was just looking like, okay, who are these people? And then they're calling the roster, and everybody was like, oh, hi, I'm here. And I think one of the first classes I actually started was Georgian language. So it was like a mixture of so many different students, like so many different semesters. So yes, if you don't know, I'm a transfer student. So it was like a cocktail, a cocktail. So my first class was actually online. In person, to be honest, I don't remember much. This is probably why I have snaps, but a video, I don't have any, unfortunately. What was it like moving into your own apartment? So I was so happy. The first apartment I actually posted on my channel here, I was so happy when I found it. And then the prices for apartments was not ridiculous. It was still well in the 200s. I can just imagine like people before when they were paying apartments for like 100 and something dollar. I'm like, God, why is Tbilisi expensive now? I can't get that apartment now for nothing less than $600 or $700, my first apartment, and there's no way, absolutely no way I'm paying $600 for that apartment. Because of what? No, I mean, if I had the money, I would pay it, but I don't have the money, so I'm not going to lie to myself that I'm going to be coughing up $600 every month. Like, stop playing. It's not that serious. So besides that, now apartments are well in the 400s, 500s for a single bedroom. It's crazy. But moving into my first apartment, I was so happy when I found the apartment. It just fits my vibe, and it was well within my budget. So that is always the part that gives me joy, when I find something well within my budget and it's beautiful. And I mean, as you guys have seen, let me see, am I going to put it? I think it's here. Oh no, sorry, it's here. I'm going to put a link for the apartment video. And if you check out that apartment, it was very clean, spacious. I wasn't really looking for spacious. I was just looking for something very comfortable. But as God will have it, the apartment was spacious and it was really nice. And there was a lot of storage, and that's like one of the most important thing I look out for in an apartment: storage space, because you just don't know the kind of things you're going to get, especially if you're coming from like year one. Well, if you're coming from year one, that's different, but yeah, because you're going to be here for a period of 6 years if you're doing medicine, so you're obviously going to acquire stuff. But that's beside the point. I was very happy when I found the apartment, like I said, and it was well within my budget, and it was spacious, and it was nice. And yeah, there was decent sunlight. I mean, I record videos, so I mean, I would look out for that. You might not, but I look out for that when I'm looking for an apartment. So I really liked it, and I was just happy that it was in my budget. So yeah. Is it expensive to live here? I'd say right now, kind of. I guess I would say right now, kind of. So just going off of rent alone, being that rent is, at least, I would say at least for foreign students, I would say so, because if you think about it, you're paying all this money and there's not a lot of jobs that people can use to supplement, whatever getting. And even with jobs, like, besides, outside of certain types of jobs, the general population or the general jobs that are around cannot even cover 50% of your rent. I'm not kidding. So even if you worked in other jobs, you're most likely not even going to make that $400. So 1+1. Who is your hair plug? I am my hair plug, because I'm able to source for hairs, like different hairs myself, and I have hairs that are like up there, and I have hairs that are like really cheap. So stay tuned. I actually have an update concerning this for you people, so stay tuned. I am trying to come to Georgia and I'm so confused on what to do. So the process has changed since when I came, and it's kind of hard to explain to you. If you don't know what to do, I would advise that you use an agent. If you don't want to use an agent, then you have to speak to your school. The process is a bit longer with your school, but it can be done. But if you don't know what to do, you definitely need to use an agent, and obviously it comes with a price. So figuring out what you want is the first step. If you want to do it yourself, you have to start it early enough, because you're your own eyes, you're your own ears. There's nobody here doing anything for you. So it might be a bit long. And now the thing is, it's not advisable to go to Ethiopia or South Africa or Egypt to get a visa, because they are not even issuing visas to students. Can we start from there? They're not issuing visas to students. I know people have been coming in through other visas, and yeah, I don't know a lot about that. I have people who are into like the whole agency thing, and I was able to ask and get this information. This question is, what's the best route to come in as an African? And like I said, visas right now are a big issue, and the three major countries that have Georgian embassies, I already mentioned them, they're not issuing visas to students. So it's either you get a UK visa, Schengen, Ireland, or a United States visa. That will allow you to come in here as a tourist, and then you can change your visa status and, you know, apply that you're a student and all of that. That's the route I know that people use nowadays. So that's like a whole process on its own. It's very different, like I said, to what I did. Very, very different. Do you still need to go to Ethiopia or South Africa to come here? No, because like I said, they're not even issuing visas to people. So people are having to find other ways to hop in here. So what are the challenges faced with coming here? By here, coming to Georgia. By Georgia, I mean Georgia in Europe, not Georgia in the United States. I say this all the time, and I don't know why people keep thinking it's in the USA. Guys, get it together. So some of the challenges faced here is, obviously, if you're new and you don't know anybody here, it's securing an accommodation by yourself, in a bank account, and even getting your visa status changed. And I think that requires like your landlord's documents. All this, guys, all these are just generic information that I know. And like I said, I was able to get intel on this. So getting accommodation, I've told you guys where most people look for accommodations on. I talked about it in one of my videos, and you can watch that video and see where people check for apartments. This apartment I'm in, that's where I got it from as well. So yeah, getting accommodations, if you don't understand the website, getting a bank account, you need to go to your school to get a letter. I don't know about other schools, but I think it should be the same. Get a letter from your school, you know, and then you go to the bank, you open an account and things of that nature. And also the last thing that I mentioned is changing your visa status, especially if you came in or if you come in with the UK visa or the Schengen visa or the US visa. You have to change it to, you know, you have to get your resident permits and change your visa status, things of that nature. So I think those are like the little challenges that people get to experience, you know. I also got checklist of documents you need when coming here. So if you're not coming with a Georgian visa, I came with a Georgian visa. When I came with like a bunch of documents, my police reports, and a bunch of things. Obviously your passport, your rector's order, your admission letter, and things of that nature. But yeah, I had all these documents. But if you're not coming with a Georgian visa, I think the case is very different. You don't need all these documents when you're coming through, but it's ideal to have them, because when you get into the country, when you're applying for your change of visa or even your resident permits, you need a bunch of these documents. And so I have like a list here of some: your passport, a passport photo, bank statement from a bank in Georgia to show proof of funds, house contract, which is notarized, and entry visa, that's like your UK, US, or Schengen visa, your university letter, that's your admission, and then an application form that you get from like the what should I call it, like city hall, something like that. So yeah, why do I take so much breaks? Guys, some of these things are not planned, and being a creator on this space, or being a creator on this space is not so linear. And one thing you have to understand that is that creating content requires so much mental work, so much thinking, so much planning. I have like a whole list on my phone. I'm going to show you guys. This is like my video ideas for Instagram, and I haven't even gone through to filming most of it. Let's not even get there. But there's also the fact that you need to plan, and if the execution is not how you want it, if you're like a mini perfectionist, then it might be difficult. And there's also the part of just like life, you're just tired, stressed out, things are just happening that you just can't control. So, and for me, when I'm just like not in the mood, like I don't force it, I don't force myself to film. And the thing is, even content that I have filmed, I don't feel encouraged or gingered to edit and post them. I have content that I could be posting, but I just feel like once that moment has passed, I'm just like, we're leaving that in the past, okay? So yeah, I take breaks as often as I can, because mentally I need to, mentally I need to. And it also gives me the opportunity to always re-strategize, always think of what I need to do better and things of that nature. And also I've just like moved to shorter forms of content. I feel like it's a lot easier. It's a lot easier to manage. It's a lot easier to deal with. It's a lot easier to film and just be done with it. I can film a 5-minute video and make it like 45 seconds or a minute, and that's about it. But with this, its video is probably going into like 30 minutes. So yeah, I take breaks as much as I need, just because I need to. It's just good for my mental health. I delete my Instagram on Sundays. Not on Sundays, I do it a lot. I delete my socials, and I'm just gone for like a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, just because. And yeah, it's just important that I do at the end of the day. So if you have any questions and any video ideas that you'd like me to film, because I don't know if I've mentioned it, I'm trying to transition out of doing too many school-related videos, not school-related videos, Georgia-related questions, because I feel like I've kind of been repetitive and it's just like, it's boring. So I'm trying to like transition out of that and do other things that, this type of video, especially answering questions on here, I'm trying to keep it to twice a year. And this twice a year is usually before the start of the next semester, just so if there's any information that I have and I think is relevant to share, then I can share it. And yeah, so just like that, I'm just going to limit it, because I feel like, it limits my audience, and I'm trying not to limit my audience. You feel me? So yeah, that brings us to the end of today's video, and I hope it's not too long. But thank you for watching.